Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Tailored Faces. This is your girl, Taylor Janae. And on this video, we're going to be learning some tips and tricks on how I get a flawless base. And yeah, I mean, people ask me this all the time, so I really just wanted to finally sit down and make a video on how I do my foundation. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, so first off, I am going to start using this new IT Cosmetics gel moisturizer. It's not my favorite moisturizer, but I do feel like it's getting the job done. As you can see, I just have a little sample of it. But it's supposed to be like 4 times the moisturization or 3 days worth of moisturizer. I don't know. It's something. But my skin has been really dry lately, so I really just want to hydrate it. And yeah, keep it nice and plump. Next, I'm going to go in with some of this Tarte Maracuja oil. Again, just to like hydrate the face, keep it extra hydrated. Like I said, I'm super dry, especially in my T-zone right now. I don't know if you can kind of see my forehead and my nose. It's extra dry. So I'm not someone who typically likes to wear like dewy foundations or anything like that. So I definitely like to hydrate underneath my foundation. You know, skincare is the most important thing when it comes to any foundation routine. Your makeup is not going to look good if your skin does not look good. So you got to keep it well taken care of. I'm just patting that oil in vigorously, as you can see. Also, we're going to ignore the fact that I had conditioner in my ear the entire time. All right, now I'm just going to spray my face with a little bit of rose water. What this does is, since it's a bit of a toner, it's really just going to take away some of that oiliness. I'm still going to be hydrated, but I just don't want to be shiny. And I don't want to have a lot of oil seeping through and kind of like taking, you know, my makeup apart. Next, I'm going to use some of that same soft matte concealer from NARS, that pot concealer. And since it's kind of close to my skin tone, I'm just kind of like covering up some of my dark marks. I'm not really someone who gets a ton of like acne or anything like that. But when I do, I typically get a scar with it, which really kind of sucks. So I'm just kind of covering up some of those extra spots that I have. Just to make everything kind of even underneath my foundation. I'm just taking my finger and patting that in. I was putting it on with an artiste brush, but honestly, you can definitely use your finger. I'm so used to having nails on my hand that I always use a brush. As you can see, the nails are gone, girl. I'm also taking some of that around my mouth. You know, sometimes as women of color, we have a little bit of discoloration, like around the corners of our mouths. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of brightening and a little bit of color correcting, because this concealer is also kind of peachy. God, I make weird faces when I'm getting ready. I look so weird. Next, I'm going to take my Sigma, what is that, like an F80 brush, I believe? The flat kabuki brush. And some of that NARS All Day Luminous, whatever, foundation in the color Morea. And I'm just going to take 2 pumps for each side of my face. I could technically get away with 1 pump, but I don't know. I felt like doing 2. So I've been using this foundation for the past month, and I actually really like it. I feel like I like the color. Whenever I first put it on, I always feel like it looks really orange, but it's actually like more of that like olive undertone. Has a little bit of green in it, which I really like, and it's still golden. But once I put everything on my face, I feel like it's pretty much perfect. It's definitely the closest to my skin tone that I've gotten so far, I feel like. And again, I kind of like start off with like patting motions because I don't want a ton of like streaks or anything in my foundation. And then eventually I kind of like buff it in. And I'm just going to do the same thing for the other side. be sure to get all up in those baby hairs, girl. I try not to disturb them, but honestly, they're so stuck to my head. There's really not much I can do about it. Remember, everybody, the key to anything in makeup really is just blending. You want everything to look as natural and as blended in as possible. You don't want any streaks or anything kind of like uncovered or anything. I take it below my neck. I don't really take it on my neck, but you know, to each his own. Now I'm going to take some of that LA Girl Pro Conceal concealer. I think in a shade Pure Beige, I believe. This is kind of like an oldie but goodie for me. I don't know. I kind of switch concealers a lot because I'm looking for that perfect one. And I kind of went back to this one recently, and I actually really like it. Kind of old school, but you know, gets the job done, and it's super cheap, so gotta love it. I just take, well, I'm really not taking a whole lot of it. I'm just kind of spreading out the product. I really kind of like squeeze out the tube once and then just kind of go for it. I'm also taking some of that down my nose and a little bit on my chin as well. I don't really like to highlight my forehead because I feel like it's already big. I ain't really got time for that. I'm also going to take a little bit kind of like under the hollows of my cheeks. Just to kind of like brighten up underneath my contour, a nice forehead shot. So this is the moment when I realized that my dumbass forgot to prime. Can you believe it? I forgot to use my primer, and I'm disgusted because that's like the number one rule of makeup. I always use a primer. So pissed off I was. So I normally use the MAC, what is it? Oh my god. What the hell do I use, guys? Time Check lotion. Oh my god. Time Check lotion, which is kind of like a moisturizer and primer. So I just let that concealer sit on my face for a little bit while I did a little bit of liner and mascara. And now I'm just gonna blend it away with my Morphe makeup sponge. Sometimes I blend it wet, sometimes I blend it with a dry sponge. It really just depends. Sometimes, especially using this sponge, I realize that I get most of my coverage when the sponge either is not too wet or it is dry. Because I feel like it has a tendency to kind of like either move around my foundation or like pick up the product that I place down. So I just kind of like to keep things intact. And also another key to blending out your concealer is to keep switching sides. You know, go back and forth with it, because you know, if you feel like you're not blending it the best, you kind of just want to, you know, make sure both sides are even. Now I'm taking that flat edge side and really kind of like getting underneath where I placed my wing to clean that up a little bit and just make everything cohesive. Sorry, I'm like out of the frame, guys. This is my first time filming. Can you believe it? I mean, you can probably believe it. I can't believe it. So for the next few minutes, you're just going to be watching my baby hairs and forehead. Sorry. Also blending out that little spot that I marked down at the bottom. Sometimes I do this with powder too, but lately with the powder I've been using, I feel like it doesn't really dust away as good, and I don't like that little white mark. So today I just used concealer for it. It really just kind of depends. I also kind of like double check my concealer underneath my eyes, which you can't really see here because I'm out of frame. But that's something that's really important to me because I have crepey under eyes. So sometimes I just take my finger and re-dab it out, or sometimes I'll take the sponge or a little bit of both, just to make sure there are no creases before I set my under eyes. There's my forehead again. I know y'all are sick of that thing. Okay, so next I'm going to take this NARS loose powder. This is in the shade Eden, I believe. Also, sometimes I use the Dermablend loose setting powder and their translucent one. Even though it is pretty white, I actually like the way this blends. I feel like it's super flawless of a finish, but I'm kind of out of it right now. I tried to use it, but I only got 2 little drops of powder. So sad. As you can see, there's like barely anything there, but it's super smooth when you put it on. I've never gotten like flashback or anything from it. I actually really like it. But instead, I'm gonna have to settle for my NARS powder, which I don't hate it. I started using it at the same time as I started with the concealer. Not the concealer, but the foundation. I actually bought their concealer, foundation, and powder all at once. The powder, to me, I think it's one of those setting powders that's literally meant to set the entire face and not necessarily to bake with it. Not that I bake all of the time, but you know, it's just like harder to dust away. So what I like to do is to pat it into the skin, especially like underneath my eyes. I just kind of like to make sure it's like actually settling into the concealer so it'll set. As opposed to me kind of like leaving a ton of it there and then trying to dust it away, because homegirl does not dust away. She just sits there, which is why I don't like to use it underneath my contour to brighten it, because it'll never go away. And then I'm looking crazy with the white line under my cheek. So ain't got no time for that. Now I am taking this Morphe Bronzer thing. I think that's what it's called. I'm not like a huge fan of this, just because, I mean, it's almost too pigmented. Like, you literally have to tap your brush in it. I'm taking like an angled, almost kind of fluffy brush. You can see like just that little bit of product like immediately. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I like things that are a little bit more like buildable and not like, boom, it's there. Now you look crazy. So yeah, I'm just taking a little bit of that just to kind of like contour and warm my face back up. It's definitely not like, I don't know, it wouldn't be my favorite bronzer, which is why I'm using it as a contour. Next, oh, I'm fumbling for something. What am I fumbling for, girl? What you looking for, friend? Ah, my bronzer from MAC. This is one of the, what do you call these? Extra dimension bronzers from one collection. I don't know, y'all. I work for MAC. Sometimes I buy a lot of things that I don't necessarily need, and this is one of them. But I really like the extra dimension like texture, especially for bronzers, because they're so buildable and kind of like buttery. I guess that's kind of like what people like about the Physicians Formula butter bronzers or whatever they're called, but we all know that none of those come in my shade, so yeah. I'm also going to take another one of those extra dimension bronzers. That one's a little bit deeper. That was from the Shiny Pretty Things collection. And just kind of deepen it up a little bit more. And while it's looking a bit intense right now, when I go through and set my entire face, it's definitely not going to look anything like that. It's going to be super smooth. But obviously, you know, y'all can see my face It's a little potato-esque. I have a very round face. I do have high cheekbones, but my face in general is just really round. So I kind of like to carve things out a little bit more. Taking that same bronzer and like an angled kind of fluffy blender brush, I'm just going to kind of contour my nose. And not really contour, because honestly I like the shape of my nose, and I'm just trying to like give it more shape, like just you know, I kind of took some of it away with the concealer and the powder, and I just really want to like reshape it. So I'm kind of going in and like carving out my nostrils again, and a little dip in the middle, just just so you can see it, so it isn't just flat and one-dimensional. It's definitely not making anything skinnier, not that I want it to. Alright, so next I'm going to take a big like fluffy brush, and I'm just going to dust away that extra powder. Now if you look at the way I'm dusting it away, especially like around that concealer, I'm going in very, very soft. I don't want to disturb any of that product underneath. Oh my god, there's my forehead again, y'all. Jesus, will I ever get it together? Probably not. What the hell, man? But anyway, I'm just like dusting that away so softly, because I don't want to disturb any of that product or like move anything or pick anything up. Now I'm going to take like a flat fluffy brush, and take some of my MAC mineralized skin finish in the color dark, and I am just going to kind of pat that in, and I'm using that to set the entire face, even over my highlight and contour, because I want everything to look cohesive. I want it to look like the natural kind of shade and light of my face, or how it should look anyway, instead of just like, you know, either stark light or stark, you know, dark marks on my face. Another good powder for this is the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, which is always sold out in my damn color. So yeah, I'm just taking my skin finish and doing that, and there's my forehead again. Y'all are gonna get sick of that. And I'm looking for things, as usual. Oh my god. Will I get it together? Find out on the next Dragon Ball Z. I think I'm looking for a highlighter. I should be looking for a towel when it comes to that conditioner in my ear. So I'm just going to take the Diamond Artist Couture powder, the Diamond Glow powder in Double Take, which is like a really pretty kind of like peachy highlight. I absolutely love it. I'm taking that little highlight or whatever brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to go in and kind of add that to my cheeks. Ooh, a glow, girl, a glow. This is probably like my favorite shade out of all of them that I own. I don't know, she's just popping. I love anything like peach or rose gold. I think it really complements my skin tone. So I use this one a lot, along with Sugar Daddy, which I cannot find at the moment. So I'm kind of going back and forth between Double Take and LeBron's from my girl Jackie. Jackie. I had also added some blush off camera. It's a Tarte blush. Not that Tarte is my favorite company, but whatever. I forget the name of the shade, but I'll link it down below. And I am out of my Morphe setting spray, so that was whack. So I just sprayed myself with a little bit of this Little Barn Apothecary, I think it's coconut and mint spray, which I actually love. It's so cooling and refreshing, but don't get it in your eyes, girl. All right, so I added some lashes off camera. I think those are Sinful from Velour Lashes. And I'm just going to go in with my favorite liner. That is Urban Cafe from NYX. And I'm going to add a little bit of Lime Crime liquid lipstick in the shade Low Cut, I believe, which is like an orangey kind of color. So these are very warm, you know, lip colors, but I actually really like it. Oh my god, did I really just dig in my nose on camera? Oh my god. Maybe I'll get it together one day. Maybe. Probably not though. And my lash is crooked. Anyway, no one cares because I'm on my way to a children's birthday party, so you know, if I look crazy, that's all right because kids don't care, you know. They're just gonna tell me and move on. It's not like any guys are gonna be there, so it is what it is. I actually like this color, but it turned out to be a little bit more red than I wanted to be with my hair, but it is what it is. It's cute. It's a look. My lash is not matching my other lash, so you know, I'm looking a little cockeyed right now, but you know, it is what it is. It's about the face. It's not about me and my drama. But yeah, that's the finish. Oh my god, I had lipstick on my. Oh my god. Oh, pray for me, y'all. This is why I don't do YouTube videos. But yeah, that's a finished look. I hope you enjoyed. I think I turned out cute. At least my face did. My life is still a mess, but y'all get it. It's all right. Everything's fine. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching, and remember to be your own kind of beautiful. See you next time.